At 5 a.m., in the industrial heart of Saransk, Russia, a 660-pound Liutyi drone is exactly 87 seconds away from a 1.5 million joule impact. It's gliding just 100 feet above the pavement, carrying a 165-pound warhead aimed at the only factory in Russia capable of producing 2.5 million miles of fiber optic cable per year. The ROI on this mission is staggering. The Liutyi drone costs roughly $200,000, less than the price of a single Russian high-end interceptor missile. But its 165-pound warhead is designed to do one thing: incinerate a billion-dollar industrial assembly line. The tactical map is a sea of red threats. The Saransk industrial zone is ringed by S-400 Triumph and Panzer S-1 batteries positioned to protect the nearby high-risk chemical plants. To the Russian radar operators, the massive clutter from the chemical tanks creates a forest of false returns. Ukraine is betting everything on that forest. They are using the massive industrial geometry of Saransk to hide a 660-pound ghost. The Kremlin thinks their wired drones are the future of warfare. Ukraine is about to prove that the future can be burned to the ground in under 90 seconds. The trap is set, the geometry is perfect, and Russia is about to lose its only connection to the 21st century. Russia thinks they've found a way to bypass EW. Ukraine just found a way to bypass the factory. Stay tuned. The lights in Saransk are about to go out for a long time. 5:05 a.m. To breach the most heavily defended airspace in Mordovia, the Ukrainian mission isn't just relying on stealth, it's relying on a calculated sacrifice. Leading the formation is a swarm of low-cost, expendable decoys. These loud drones are equipped with active radar reflectors, specifically designed to mimic the electromagnetic signature of a much larger strike force. They are flying at 2,000 feet, screaming for attention, practically begging every Russian S-400 and Panzer battery in the district to lock on. While the decoys draw the electronic heat, the 5 primary Liutyi drones are executing a terrain-masking crawl. They have dropped to a nerve-wracking altitude of just 80 to 120 feet. At this height, the 22-foot composite wings are skimming just above the tree line and the massive industrial silhouettes of the Mordovian countryside. Inside the Ukrainian control cabin, the operator's eyes are locked on the altimeter. "Fly like a ghost," he mutters, his thumbs making micro-adjustments to the pitch. Russia sees nothing but noise tonight. The physics of this approach are brutal for the Russian defenders. By staying below 120 feet, the Liutyi drones are operating within the radar shadow created by the massive chemical storage tanks and cooling towers of the Saransk industrial complex. In radar terms, this is known as ground clutter. To a Russian S-400 operator, the signal of a low-flying carbon fiber drone is indistinguishable from the background noise of steel buildings and industrial machinery. The Liutyi drones are hiding in plain sight, using the very infrastructure Russia built to fuel its economy as a shield for their destruction. The 410-mile journey has pushed the drone's fuel reserves to the limit, but the target is now on the horizon. The decoys have done their job, saturating the Russian sensors with false data, while the true killers are ghosting through the industrial fog at 400 miles per hour. 5:15 a.m. The Russian defensive bubble finally erupts. The S-400 acquisition radar, a massive array capable of scanning 250 miles out, locks onto the high-flying decoy swarm. Simultaneously, the Gravestone engagement radar begins tracking 300 simultaneous contacts. To the Russian operators inside their command vans, it looks like an entire air wing is descending on Saransk. The Russian tactical officer screams over the net, "Activate every Panzer S-1, full-spectrum EW jammer engagement now!" The sky over Mordovia lights up with the white-hot arcs of short-range interceptor missiles. The Panzer S-1 batteries, designed for terminal defense, begin firing in rapid succession. High-intensity electronic warfare units pump out enough RF noise to blind every commercial radio in the district. Inside the Russian command center, the mood is one of arrogant triumph. They watch as their screens fill with the gray icons of destroyed targets. They don't realize they are firing $2 million missiles at $500 decoys. Amidst the chaos, the primary Liutyi drones are rattled by nearby shockwaves. Shrapnel from a detonating Panzer missile greases the carbon fiber wing of the lead Liutyi, but the drone's composite structure holds. The Russians are celebrating a victory over ghosts, completely unaware that the real 660-pound killers are still ghosting through the industrial haze just minutes from impact. The superpower is winning the fake war while losing the only factory that can save its future. 5:20 a.m. The failure of the Russian defense is a result of a calculated trap-and-strike strategy. While the Panzer S-1 batteries continued to expend their magazine on expendable decoys, missiles costing millions of dollars being fired at plywood frames, the primary Liutyi drones exploit a fundamental blind spot in Russian electronic warfare doctrine. The Russian Krasuka-4 and Malachit jamming suites are currently saturating the 2.4 GHz and 5.8 GHz bands with high-intensity radio frequency noise. This would typically sever the link to any commercial drone, but the Liutyi is utilizing an internal AI-driven inertial navigation system combined with hardened satellite navigation receivers. It does not require a constant radio command link to fly its terminal path. The Russian jammer is effectively shouting into a room where the intruder is wearing noise-canceling headphones. Furthermore, the geography of the Saransk industrial complex provides a radar shadow that renders the S-400 gravestone engagement radar useless. The massive density of the nearby chemical processing plant, with its high iron content steel towers and sprawling cooling arrays, creates a massive clutter signature on Russian displays. To the S-400's computer, a low-flying carbon fiber object like the Liutyi is indistinguishable from the background return of a massive chemical tank. The billion-dollar gravestone radar is designed to track ballistic missiles at the edge of space and stealth jets at 30,000 feet. It lacks the resolution to filter a 22-foot drone moving at 400 miles per hour just 100 feet above a cluttered industrial landscape. The irony is absolute. Russia's most advanced air defense network is currently being humiliated by a combination of basic radar physics and $200,000 composite drones. The S-400 is firing into the empty sky at ghosts while the real Liutyi strike force glides through the radar shadow of the chemical factory, completely unhindered and on target. The Russian military is winning a simulation of its own making, while the reality is about to incinerate its only source of high-tech fiber. 5:25 a.m. The final layers of the Ukrainian trap begin to snap shut. The last of the plywood decoys are vaporized by the remaining Panzer S-1 interceptors, leaving the sky over Saransk temporarily silent. Inside the Russian command van, the radar operators lower their guard, convinced the 34-drone swarm has been entirely neutralized. They have just expended over $40 million in missiles to destroy less than $50,000 worth of wood and glue. But the electronic battlefield is still volatile. The Krasuka-4 jamming units intensify their output, creating a wall of radio frequency noise that finally affects the Liutyi's hardened electronics. Two of the 660-pound drones, struggling with localized signal degradation, drift nearly 15 degrees off course. One drone's wingtip misses a chemical storage tank by less than 15 feet, the wake of its passage rattling the steel structure. This is where the ACE maneuver, the pre-programmed course correction, takes over. While the Russian Panzer batteries are reloading or scanning the high-altitude sectors for a second wave, the remaining Liutyi drones execute a sharp, low-altitude bank. They move out of their original approach vectors and enter the factory's airspace from the blind spot created by the facility's 200-foot-tall cooling towers and high-pressure steam stacks. By using the massive metallic signature of the factory itself, the drones become effectively invisible to the S-400's gravestone radar. The Russian operators are suddenly blind. The targets haven't been destroyed. They have merged with the factory. Frantic 30mm cannon fire from the Panzer units begins to stitch across the industrial skyline, but the rounds strike empty air and steel siding. The industrial clutter of Saransk is now acting as a physical shield for the attackers. A single Liutyi is caught by a stray tracer round from a manual machine gun nest. The 660-pound frame disintegrates in a spectacular 1,000-pound thermal bloom, lighting up the factory grounds. The Russian defenders erupt in cheers over the radio, certain that the final threat has been eliminated. They are wrong. The final Liutyi drone, hidden in the deep radar shadow of the main manufacturing hall, ignores the secondary explosions. Its onboard AI stabilizes the flight path, locking the infrared camera onto the primary heat signature of the fiber optic induction furnaces. The drone accelerates to its terminal velocity of 420 miles per hour. The only thing standing between the Russian military and a total fiber optic blackout is 87 feet of air and a 24-inch reinforced concrete roof. The countdown has reached its final 10 seconds. 5:28 a.m. The Liutyi drone's infrared camera locks onto the thermal signature of the factory's induction furnaces, which are glowing at a steady 2,000 degrees Fahrenheit. On the Ukrainian operator's screen, the Kuon fiber, miles of pristine white-hot glass fiber, appears as a bright linear target. The Russian Panzer S-1 batteries on the factory perimeter engage in a final, desperate saturation fire, filling the air with 30mm tracers. One fragment of an air-bursting shell tears through the Liutyi's left wing, shearing away a 4-inch section of the composite skin. The drone's onboard flight controller reacts in milliseconds, shifting the torque of the electric motor and adjusting the remaining control surfaces to compensate for the loss of lift. 19 seconds to impact, the operator whispers, his eyes fixed on the vibrating video feed. The drone doesn't flinch. It's a 660-pound machine executing a mathematical equation. It drops its nose, accelerating to 420 miles per hour as it bores in on the main manufacturing hall. The final image on the monitor is the gray expanse of the 24-inch reinforced concrete roof rushing up to meet the lens. The impact of the Liutyi drone is a study in raw kinetic energy. Traveling at 420 miles per hour, the 660-pound composite frame delivers approximately 1.5 million joules of force upon contact, enough to punch through the 24-inch reinforced concrete roof as if it were drywall. The warhead utilizes a 1-second delay fuse, allowing the 165-pound high-explosive payload to reach the center of the manufacturing floor before detonation. The primary explosion is only the beginning. The 75 kilograms of high explosives are augmented with a specialized thermite compound, which ignites upon impact, reaching temperatures of 4,500 degrees Fahrenheit. In an environment filled with millions of miles of highly flammable polymer-coated fiber optic cables, the result is a catastrophic chain reaction. The glass fiber doesn't just melt, it becomes fuel. The initial 15 pounds per square inch shockwave shatters the induction furnaces, causing the molten glass to spray across the 6 primary production lines. Within seconds, the factory's internal fire suppression system is overwhelmed as the thermite burns through the steel structural supports. The 85,000 square foot facility transforms into a high-intensity furnace. The thermal signature is so massive that it is detected by orbital infrared sensors 250 miles above, marking the total destruction of Russia's only fiber optic lifeline. The strategic fallout is immediate and absolute. Russia has lost its sole domestic source of the cables required to build its jam-proof wired drones. With global fiber prices spiking fourfold and their only factory reduced to a pile of twisted, glowing steel, the Kremlin's drone program has effectively been decapitated. Economically, the Operation Dark Fiber Strike is a masterpiece of asymmetric warfare. Ukraine traded a $200,000 drone for over $500 million in industrial infrastructure and the total disruption of a critical military supply chain. The loss of these wired drones created a 48-hour tactical vacuum on the front lines, which Ukrainian armored units in the Donbass immediately exploited, punching through Russian lines while their unjammable eyes were still dark. The lesson for the Kremlin is brutal. A billion-dollar S-400 network and a 410-mile distance mean nothing when the enemy can turn your own industrial architecture into a shield. Russia thought they had found a way to bypass electronic warfare by going back to wires. Ukraine just proved that the wires are the most vulnerable part of the machine. Moscow's high-tech drone future didn't end with a jammer. It ended with a Liutyi drone and 165 pounds of thermite. Slava Ukraini, baby! Russia may be a superpower, but they just learned that big factories lose to smart bugs every single time. Bye for now.